What if the person you trusted most became the source of your deepest pain? Emotional abuse is silent, invisible violence, one that doesn't leave scars on the skin, but burrows deep into the mind. Carl Jung called this the invasion of the psyche, the shadow of another imposing itself on your identity. Every insult, every manipulation, every subtle dismissal leaves a mark, rewiring your thoughts and twisting your perception of reality. Imagine your brain as a battlefield. Freud warned that early experiences of humiliation or control create unconscious patterns that shape adult behavior. A single cruel word can echo for decades, forming neural pathways that make you doubt your worth. Alice Miller emphasized that emotional abuse teaches the mind to obey fear rather than reason, to sacrifice self-respect for survival. The worst part? You may not notice it at first. Abusive patterns often hide behind affection or charm. Jung described this as projection and transference. The abuser projects their shadow onto you, and you unconsciously internalize it as truth. Over time, you begin to believe the lies, that you're not enough, that you deserve it, that you cannot survive without them. Consider the subtlety of control. Emotional abuse isn't just anger or criticism. It's about shaping your reality. Gaslighting, constant criticism, silent treatment, and manipulation gradually erode autonomy. Freud called this the conflict between the superego and ego, a battle of internalized authority versus self-preservation. Jung adds that the abuser's shadow entwines with your psyche, making it difficult to distinguish truth from imposed fiction. Healing seems impossible because the effects are woven into your mind. Neuroscience shows chronic emotional abuse affects the amygdala, hippocampus, and prefrontal cortex, creating hypervigilance, memory distortions, and emotional dysregulation. The more you try to move on, the more the mind replays old patterns, as if wired to remember suffering. And society makes it worse. Victims are told to forgive, forget, move on. But Jung warns that ignoring the shadow only strengthens it. Freud reminds us that repression doesn't heal, it festers. True recovery requires acknowledgement, confrontation, and rebuilding autonomy. You must reclaim the parts of yourself that were stolen, silenced, or suppressed. Yet there is hope. Awareness is the first step. Understanding the mechanisms of abuse, biological, psychological, social, allows you to regain control. Alice Miller emphasized the importance of validation and self-recognition. Jung would say, individuation, the conscious reclamation of your psyche, is necessary to escape the abuser's shadow. Healing is not forgetting. It is integrating, observing, and reclaiming agency. The paradox of trauma is brutal. The more intense the suffering, the more profound the growth when it is processed consciously. Survivors who confront abuse, face their inner shadows, and rebuild autonomy often develop resilience, depth, and insight that untouched minds rarely achieve. But this requires courage, solitude, and unflinching honesty. This time, emotional abuse reshapes your view of self and the world. Every trust becomes cautious, every bond tentative. Jung called this the wounded psyche. The parts of you that learn to hide, protect, and survive at all costs. Literally, recovery means reintroducing trust, rebuilding boundaries, and relearning how to connect without fear. And yet, liberation is possible. Freud, Jung, and Miller converge on one truth: you are not the damage done to you. Awareness, conscious reflection, and deliberate self-reconstruction allow the abused mind to reclaim freedom. Pain can teach, suffering can illuminate, and solitude can restore. Healing is slow, but every step is a victory. Reclaiming autonomy means prioritizing your inner life, setting boundaries, and resisting the urge to validate your worth through others. Emotional abuse may leave scars forever, but those scars can become a map, guiding you towards strength, clarity, and self-possession. Remember this: awareness is power. Jung's individuation, Freud's conscious mediation between instinct and reason, and Miller's validation of experience all point to the same truth. The abused mind can rebuild, reclaim, and thrive. The trauma does not define you. Your response does. You may carry the scars, but they do not imprison you. Every insight, every conscious choice, every reclaimed boundary is a step toward freedom. Emotional abuse teaches one thing clearly: survival is instinct, recovery is art, and liberation is a conscious act. The mind can heal, the psyche can grow, and the individual can rise, stronger, wiser, and free.